In 1995, 6 long and there, 2 prophets in California prophesied to me. And Cindy had just prophesied the year before that God had called me to be a 5-star general in the army of the Lord. And somebody gave me some material that says in the United States, 5-star generals are only made during a time of war. I thought, that kind of fits. And then they prophesied to me, God wants you to go to Pacific Rim nations. I thought, what for? And so, don't you love those prophecies tell you to do something you don't know what, how, when, where? Yeah. So I went home, prayed about it, and God told me, he says, Russia, China, and Iran are trying to do trilateral talk like Germany, Italy, and Japan did in World War II to divide the world up between them. And they're communicating, trying to plan World War III. And he said, if you will go and lead the people in warfare, you can stop it. But if you only do it halfway, it'll be 50% with guns and bullets and blood. But he said, if you'll do it completely, you can stop their communication, confuse the issue, and stop it from being a World War III that he planned on being by the end of 2001. And in the spring of 2000, I went to the Pacific Rim. They started out in South Korea, Japan, Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, and on the West Coast, California and Alaska. That's the main ones we went. The main one was Singapore, and I led people in corporate warfare. I had 100 ministers on the platform, and we shouted the big guns and landed in China to create confusion and foul up their communication channels and cause confusion. And we did that for 96, 97, 98, 99, and then 2000, and then God said in 2001, in spring, you've done it, you finished it, there'll not be a World War III at this time. But the devil changed his tactics and started terrorism, and they brought the 2 towers down in New York, and we've been fighting a terrorist war ever since. Now we're working toward a cyber war and all the rest. But now Russia, China, and Iran are at it again. And they're still determined, the devil is still determined to have, I don't know how far we can stop it this time, but we can push it off maybe a little further. I'm not in a hurry for World War III. I don't want to be like the Gaza people, you know. I was thinking about, how many ever read the George Washington visions he had? Did you ever get the, some of you have. Years ago, I lost them out of my pile, but George Washington had a vision of 3 things. He saw what would end up being the Revolutionary War, and then he saw the South and the North fighting one another. It turned out to be the Civil War. And then he saw the last vision was red lights flashing on the West Coast, North Coast, East Coast, and there's the center part of the United States that wasn't flashing red. And everybody figured that was the red communists that would be attacking. So it's a possibility that America could get bombs all over it. Come on. Oh, you say, God, we're Americans. We're not God's pet. We're as bad as Sodom and Gomorrah now. Come on. Same-sex marriage. Trying to teach kids you don't know whether you're a boy or girl. Just look down. But anyhow. It's time to do corporate warfare. Now, I did corporate warfare in 32 nations, several churches in the United States, but in the last 3 or 4 years since COVID, I haven't done corporate warfare. We did it here one time, right? I'm going to do it again tonight. I know you don't want to, but I didn't ask your flesh. I'm tired too. All right.